Okay, fine. So all the integration, all the building blocks. So what is the purpose we are using? So already we discussed. So and also one by one we have tested how to create that each building block. So pipeline and data sets and activities, all type of activities. So almost we have checked that all the activities in all the building blocks. In the today's session actually, so we will see that actually in the copy data. So in the copy data activity, we will see that and how we can copy the data. So we will try to see the two scenarios. One is copying data from that on-premises source to the Azure cloud destination. So this is one scenario we will see it, and then second scenario we will see it, and then Azure cloud destination source to and then same Azure cloud destination. So here the activity, the scenario one actually. So what we are going to do now, just we are going to see this one on premises location to that Azure cloud using that IDF, how we can copy data from the on premises to cloud. So here actually, so since the destination is going to be a Azure cloud, now we have to create that Azure SQL database. So in the database, we have to create that table, and we have to create that new pipeline. See, already I told you. So pipeline is nothing but, so the pipeline is collection of the activities, that activities using for defining that actions. So if you are going to do some data actions now, so you have to create the pipeline. So here we have to create the new pipeline for copying data from the flat file to Azure SQL. In that pipeline, in the inside of the pipeline, we have to use that copy data activity, and the copy data activity will have that properties. In the properties we are having the two important parts. One is that source part and another one is that sync part. So sync is nothing but the destination. The source, we have to define that source path from where we are going to get the data. The same destination, the sync also we have to give the path details to where we are going to store the details. So and also we can do that mapping after defining that source and the destination. We can mapping the fields from between the source and destination. Then we have to save it. For saving, what we have to do now, we have to do that publish, and then we can use the trigger now for run the process. So this is a step we have to do it in the IDF.
Yeah.
So here, um, see, already logged in into this my Azure portal. So in my Azure portal, just I'm having my database. I'm having my database. So this is my database. So this database available in this database server. So in this database, actually, I have to create the table. So in the table only, I'm going to store the data. See, we know that. So for writing query, we have to open that query editor window. The query editor window, just this is the icon, and you have to log in. So it's logged in.
Yeah.
So already I'm having table. So the table creation is simple way. Already
Yes,
we know
yes.
that how to create the table, create table, and the same query we have to use it.
Correct.
Sorry, we have to use it, and then columns. What are the columns you want to use it? So all the normal concepts only. The query in the Oracle or SQL Server, and how you are writing the same query is the SQL query only. We are going to use it here. So already I'm having that query table, then employee. So to this table actually, so what I'm going to do now, just I'm going to copy the data from one of my flat file. So this is my flat file, simple file. Just I'm using this simple file. So here I'm having that comma separated values, right? The first
Yeah,
name, last name, title.
title.
These all so going to be the column header, and these are going to be a values. So this is the file. I have to move into this database. I have to move into this database. Fine. So now we have to go to just a minute. Okay. Yeah, so all fields are available here already available. Existing tables available. Just I'm checking is there any data are available or not. So select star from AMP, then select. So in the run, you have to click. So query
No
succeeded,
rows.
affected 0 rows, so no rows. So blank table only available. Then it's fine. Now, so I'm opening my home page in the separate window. So from here, actually, we have to navigate to the ADF. So the ADF already we have created. So the from the ADFs, just I'm going to navigate to the ADF page. So we have navigated to the ADF page. So here, so here we have to. So first, the steps already we discussed. We have to create the SQL Server database in the Azure. Yes, we have created. The table also we have created.
Created.
So source details also available. The source files available. So now we have to create the new pipeline. So fine. So I'm going to create the new pipeline. So you have to navigate to this other. Here you have to create the new pipeline. Just I'm going to create this new pipeline by clicking this one. I'm selecting new pipeline. And you can give that any of the name for this pipeline. So my data copy from sorry or a name data copy from local to Azure.
Sure.
Fine. So I'm having data copy from local to Azure. Fine. So which activity? So pipeline is created. So once you have created the pipeline, then you have to use that activities. So based on your requirement, you have to select the activity. Actually, here what I'm going to do, I'm going to copying data from one source to destination. So that means, so just I'm going to do this data movement process, right?
Yes.
Actually, in the ADF, we are having three types of features. We can do it. One is that data movement process, and another one is the data transformation, and then last one is that conditional features we can define, right? So the data movement means just copying data from one source to another destination area. So the data movement, so this scenario is if it is coming under the data movement now, so you have to select, so under the move and transformation, the future activities available. So this is the copy data as the activity for moving data from one source to another destination. So here one place to another place, just I'm going to move this data so that I'm taking this copy data. Fine. For this copy data activity, you can give the name. So copy data from
Local to Azure.
so local, right?
Yeah.
Local to Azure. So copy data from local to Azure. So this is my activity name. So this is the reference name. Fine. So then the rest of things I can leave it as a default. Now I'm coming to this source. The source from where we are going to get the data. From where we are going to get the data. Actually, here I'm going to get the data from my local system. In my local system, from this path, I'm going to take the data from this file. In this path, I'm going to take the data from this file. So this is the path. So this is the local path. This path is available in my laptop or my desktop. So on-premises environment. So here the data set it is asking as an input for this source. So if you are going to create the data set now, so then what you have to do, you have to mention this file as the data set for this source input. You have to mention like that one. So the data set you are going to create. So if you are going to create the data set means you have to create the connection first. You have to create the connection first. So connection, for the connection what feature we are having, for the connection we are having that feature is called link
Link
service. This is
service.
one of the block, right? This is
Yes.
one of the block. So link services we have to create it. The link services only for the connection. The link services means it's only for the connection. But if you are going to create the connection, that means if you are going to create the link services now, so you have to use that one important thing is called IR, integrated runtime is important one. So
Yes.
the integrated runtime you have to create. Otherwise, without integration runtime, you could not create the linked services. So you have to create the integrated runtime. Actually, this integrated runtime is available for three types. One for that local system,
Yeah,
one for
and
that local system, and
Azure one,
and another one is
Azure,
so Azure.
Azure SSIS.
So Azure and then Azure SSIS. So based on the source, you have to create this linked services. So the linked services now we have to create local and Azure, right? For the
Yes.
local system, the linked service, the IR type is called self-hosted. Self-hosted is one of the available IR system in the ADF. So this self-hosted IR you have to create when you are going to create the connection to your local system. Then Azure, Azure self-hosted Azure services is available. So Azure service, IR is available internally. You don't want to create it anything. For Azure as ISSS, na, so you have to create that separate Azure as SSS IR. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So here now we have to create these two first. Now what I'm going to do now. So first, the best practice method. So first, I have analyzed what are the integration runtimes need for this scenario and how many link services I have to create it. I have analyzed. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create my integrated runtime first. That integrated runtime first, I'm going to create it. So in my account already, I have created this one self-hosted IR.
Yeah.
Suppose if it is not available, if it is not available means what you have to do, you have to click this one and then you have to click this self-hosted IR, then click the continue, then select this self-hosted IR and click continue. So here you have to use that self-hosted IR
Yeah.
name. You have to mention it. So whatever the name you are going to use it, I'm going to use SHIR. So this is going to be type process. Suppose if the first time if you are going to create, the first time if you're going to create this self-hosted IR, because already I have created, so it is not it directly it is giving that option to create that new integration runtime for the self-hosted type. See, self-hosted type is invisible. That means editable, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
it is not editable. So because that self-hosted IR server is already installed in my system. Actually, how we have to create that self-hosted IR the first time now? See here, the first time it will ask like this one, the integration runtime settings. We have to do it first. Integration runtime settings. We have to do it first. The first time, if you are going to use that self-hosted IR, if you are going to create it now, actually you didn't use that self-host IR. For example, what I'm going to do, Microsoft integration runtime. Just I'm clicking OK. See here, the Microsoft integrated runtime. So here it is connected already.
Okay.
If you are going to create the first time now, so this Microsoft integration runtime configuration manager will not be available in your local system actually. So if you are going to create that integration runtime first time now, first what you have to do, you have to download this integration configuration manager. So once you download, so it will be downloaded like this as a executable file. You have to install it. So the download from where you can do it now, the first time if you are opening that integration runtime settings now, see here in this one, in this window,
Yes, yes.
the option two, download and install integration runtime, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can download it by clicking this link, and then you can install it by applying double click in this exe file. Once that installation is completed now, it will ask for that configuration authentication. So for the authentication, you can use that either this key or this key. So using this one, so once you configured now, so in the local system, this in this configuration manager will be enabled. So this system now having the feature to connect from the Azure to the system. You got my point?
Yes, yes.
So Microsoft integration runtime configuration manager is important to connect your local system to the Azure. So once you have configured, so authentication, everything once you have done, see, actually we don't want to create multiple things. See here, I'm already, I had that one, so that, so I clicked it next. So here again, it is showing that same feature, right? See here that SHIR, the new integration runtime I'm creating, the new integration runtime I'm creating. So, but here actually now you don't want to download it because already it's available. So what you can do now, so you can close this one. So once you click this close now, so what it will be now, so this new link integration runtime will be created. You got it?
Yes, yes.
See here, but here I don't want to use this extra self-hosted IR, because for accessing local, already I have created one is available, so I can use this IR.
Yes, yes.
Fine.
So in
Now,
real time, sorry, one
yeah.
question. In real time, they have to create these two, right? Means like linked services they will create and they will give to developer.
Actually, so in the real-time environment, if you are going to access the data from that intranet,
Mhm.
the intranet internet sources are available in the different locations, the different path is there, na, then you can do multiple IR, self-hosted IR, you can create it.
Okay.
All are if it is available in the same. Actually, here I'm having my data in my laptop only.
Yes, yes.
So then laptop, so the data it is available in this path only. So this is the path I'm having the data. Suppose if you are having that your data in the different paths, na, then you have to create the different IRs.
Yes. Okay.
You got my point?
Yes, yes, got it.
Fine. So now already I have created this self-hosted IR. So and also this auto Azure type. See here, this is for the Azure type. Want to create it. This is the default one. We don't want to create it. See, so now we are having the two integration runtimes are available. Using this, what we can do, we can try to create that linked services. The linked services one I need for that local database, a local file. Another one I need for that my cloud. So here just I'm clicking file type, the file system, then continue. So this is the linked service, linked service local system. Then we have to select that respective IR.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Self-hosted IR we have to select because we are going to get the data from this local. So here you have to mention actually. So this is the file where I'm having my input. So I need this file path. Just I'm selecting and go to the property and go to the sharing. See, this network path you have to provide.
Okay.
This network path you have to provide. Suppose this network path is available now, you can go to this advanced sharing and then you can check. By default it will be unchecked sometimes, so you have to check it. Once you check this one now, then this network path will be generated. From this you can copy it and then you can come into this one, the host place. You have to mention that your file path and that intranet server details, the username, the internet server hosting path you are giving here. Then here you have to mention that path actually. So username, the username, my system username, and my password.
Laptop password you are giving, right?
Your laptop, yes.
If password is not there, no need to provide anything.
But sometimes it is not working properly.
Okay.
So it is expecting login credentials.
Okay, okay, sure.
Okay, so I'm checking this connection is working or not by clicking this test connection. Just I'm clicking. It is not working. So why it is not working? We have to check it. So might be username and password might be different. So okay, then test connection. So it's not working for me. Why? SSIS input files, admin 21, might be password. So now it's working fine. So I have given wrong password, I think. Now it's working.
Okay.
Connection successful. So linked services local system just have created. Then it's fine. Now I'm going to create that one more link services.
The cloud.
So this is for that Azure,
SQL
right?
data. Yes, yes.
So Azure SQL database. Then click continue. Linked service. So in the linked service, this is my server Azure subscription. This is my server name. In this server, this is my database and SQL Server authentication. So this is my username and my password. So just I'm checking whether this connection is working. Yes, it's working fine. Working fine. Then what I can do, I can create it. See, before I'm creating this linked services, I'm coming to this my database. I'm coming to this my database overview, the set firewall. Just I'm removing, then save it. That's it. Okay, fine. Now coming to this ADF. Now what I'm trying to connect this one. So test connection. Just I'm clicking the test connection. See, it is not connected. Connection failed. Just I'm clicking more. What it is saying now? Cannot connect to SQL Server database in this to the server database in this database using this for my username because the client with IP address so is not allowed to access the server. So this ADF having separate IP, this IP is not allowed to access this database. But it is giving that IP address details, right? What is the IP address is using here, and so this address is not allowing. The status also it is mentioning. So what I'm trying here, just I'm coming and I'm giving in the start and end IP. I'm giving the name client ADF client IP. So fine. Then I'm click save. It's okay. Now come to this ADF. Again I'm trying. So the test connection. So now it is successfully connected, right? So what we can understand here, if you are going to access that your database which is available in that Azure, you are trying to access this Azure database, SQL database from the Azure Data Factory, which is running in the separate IP. So that IP from that different IP, if you are going to access this any of the IP, if you are going to try to access this SQL database, Azure SQL database, that IP should be added as a client address in this database. Otherwise, it will not allow to access from the place. Got it?
Yes, yes.
So here, so that is the reason only we are using the server set server firewall. Okay. So now it is allowed. Then click create. So link service is created for the cloud also. Fine. So now, so I have analyzed and I got so two link services need so that I have created the two integration runtime and also link service also I have created. Now what I'm going to do, just I'm going to this my pipeline and go to this my copy data. So then the source, so from the source, just I'm going to create the new data set. So new data set from where we are going to get the file from that file local system, we are going to get it. So what type of file? Delimited file. Then click, then delimited text. So data set delimited text is a name for this data set.
Yeah.
And then linked services, the linked services local system
Local
available,
system.
right? So this is the path, and from here you can select your file. So these number of files are available and folders are available. So ADF input file.txt, this file I'm going to use it. So the connection store, from connection store, a schema, import schema will be taken by default from the connection path. Then click OK. So the source is ready. Then sync another.
Great.
But this data set, this is for the local, right? So
Yes.
local, this is going to represent your local file. So I'm going to create the new. This is for that my Azure
Azure
SQL
SQL
database,
database.
and click Azure SQL database. So dataset Azure SQL database table. So the link services actually Azure SQL database link services we have to create it. Yeah. Already we have created everything.
Yes, yes, correct.
So here this is the table name. So then click OK. Fine. So it's created, and come to the mapping. Just if you click the import schema, it is loading. See, the local source, we are having the first name, last name, title, and it is directly mapping the first name, the last name, and title,
Title.
respective data types. So rest of the things, just I'm leaving as it is in the default. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to change anything. The default setting features only just I'm going to take it. So because these things are important, the sync and mapping, we have
Source.
to confirm it, and then source we have to create it. So I have created, then it's fine. Everything is I have created. So now I want to save all these setups, whatever I have created.
Please.
So the publish all. So click publish, then it will be saved. So meanwhile, we can check the data set. The data set, see, you can check all the data sets, whatever you have created. So this data set. So here actually it is going to have that all the data sets. So how many number of pipelines you are going to create it, how many attribute activities you are going to use it. So for all types of activities and pipelines, we are going to create the data sets. All the data it is going to be available under this data sets list menu list only. So that is the reason we have to give the proper data set name. So the data set name only we are going to read it. By reading this data set, it should be understandable. So for the user, the developer, okay. A meaningful name we have to provide it. So now it's got saved. I want to run it. So if you want to execute this pipeline, so immediately if you want to run it now, then what you have to do,
Right.
you can go to this add trigger. Just click on this add trigger. See here the trigger now. The trigger now option is there. So the trigger now, just I'm going to click this trigger now. So using last published configuration, whatever you have published is the last one. Those things only will be saved. So this trigger will run only that last saved things only, so that it is giving that information to us. Trigger pipeline now using last published configuration. Yes, it's okay. And if you want to do that monitoring your pipeline running now, then come to this monitor icon. See monitor icon, you can see that all the pipeline details, what are the pipeline details you have used, you are using now. In this is in progress. So this is my pipeline name. So data copy from local to Azure. This is my pipeline. So local to Azure. So this is my process pipeline name. And if you click the refresh, it will succeeded. So it's completed successfully. Now come to this your database and go to the data editor. Just log in. Okay. See here. Just I'm going to select my table. My table name is employee EMP. Then run. See here.
Yes, yes.
Fine. So this is the way only we can transfer the data. We can confirm it the same data only we are having my data, my our path. So ADF input file. Yes. Chandru details only. Chandru and Rajesh details only we are having in our data. So now here also we are having Chandru, Shekhar, and then Rajesh. Come on, right? So this is the way only we can copy